Today I answer the age-old question of how to deal with a director. And the answer is, it depends. So I tend to classify directors in three categories. The laissez-faire, like the guy who just kind of lets things happen. The OCD, who is just touching everything and has to have his hand in everything, his or her hand. And then just the clueless idiot, who, I think that one kind of explains itself. Now, the laissez-faire is, I tend to think of the laissez-faire as more of kind of like the hired director, the guy who didn't come with the project. They hired someone, and maybe, he doesn't really have that great of interest in it. He's just kind of doing his job. I've come up with, that's probably the majority of who I've run into. And, to deal with them, like, a lot of times they will not have a good question, or they will not, a lot of times a director won't have a clear image of what they want for the sound design or lighting or whoever's watching this. And a lot of ways to get around that is just to talk to other designers. I mean, sometimes they have a more focused, like, I want this, a very clear image of how I want the lighting in this play, or how I want the stage, And then when you go to those people, you can kind of figure out what he asked of them, and then you can apply that to your design. That's kind of the best way that I've dealt with those people in the past. And for the most part, they don't even notice. So it's kind of like, do you, Then there's the OCD people. Now, this is probably the one I hate the most. Not hate, I guess is a strong word. The one I find the most problems with, because a lot of times they will get right into what you're doing without fully understanding what you need to do. So, for instance, an OCD director might say, I need 4 mics on stage, and I also need, a drum kit, and I need a violin, and I need a vocal. And I also want the highest, amount of equipment, like the highest grade equipment I can get, and then only gives you maybe like a couple $1,000 budget. But insists that it's necessary. Or like a cue is called, maybe a couple seconds too late, and then the show has to stop, or tech, like the tech has to stop, and, it may have been a simple mistake, maybe it was called wrong, normally a note was just going, but the OCD director is the one who will stop the show the minute he sees something is out of place. And that's good and bad. Good for when you have high stakes productions, like ones that make a lot of money, but it's bad when you're in like black box theater situations and, maybe a total of 400 people will ever see the show. So, and that one, there's 2 schools of thought. I have 2, but the 2 schools of thought actually both come to the same conclusion, which is just do what they ask. Now, the 2 schools of thought are the more angelic way of doing it is going with the Leon Rothenberg version, which is keep the conversation going with yes and. You can change the vision that way. It's a little more engaging, less confrontational, kind of more of a dialogue than just, doing the thing. And then there's the Kevin Gould way, which this is the one I practice, which is do it, and then when it eventually fucks up, you can just do your own thing, which you were going to do before, and fix it. Now, it's not necessarily the greatest thing to do, because you may be in late stages of tech, and you're about to start doing dress, and then you've been doing it this way for so long, and then the director finally goes, fuck it, let's just do whatever, your way. And then you have to redesign it to that. But it's the best feeling for me when I get to say, I was right. You do you. The last kind of director is the clueless idiot.
Ooh. Oh, I just started getting a clue. Really?
And these people are mainly either starting out directors, like they've never directed anything in their lives, or maybe they're there simply for the acting portion. Like all they thought about was the actors, and then suddenly they got a design team, and they're like, I don't know what to do with designers. I don't know what to do with them. And help them learn. That's all that one is. It's just they're not sure how to start off. So don't be an asshole and be like, here's all my intricate plots and blah blah blah. You can say, this here is my all my stuff. I'm going to walk through it nicely with you, and then when you have a problem with something, just tell me. I'll try and rework it so that you understand what I'm talking about. That's how to do with the Clueless Idiot. And I kind of like them because you become kind of friends and you grow together over the course of the show. That's the best way I can put that. So yeah, this will be a quickie, but and then sometimes you'll get just the perfect blend of the laissez-faire director and the OCD, where they have a vision for what they need, but then they let you complete the vision. And that's just the greatest feeling ever, is because you guys are always on the same foot, and then when you start off your show, your tech, whatever, they will say, I need it this way, and then you can make it work, and then that's that. It's there's blends of different ones. It's just all kind of finding a sweet spot, really. And sometimes you won't find your sweet spot. You're just going to drudge through the whole process, and it's going to be awful, and you hate it every step of the way. But that's how it goes. Sometimes life is always unexpected. You may plan for everything. A lot of times I will make a QLab session that is so infallible that not even a monkey could mess it up, and then somehow down the line something breaks. You can't plan for this shit. But it's good to know the primary colors of directors, and then you just kind of find the healthy mix in between. Anyways, that's all I got for now. See you at the next adventure. And the thing about OCD directors is a lot of times they will get flustered, especially in times of... God damn it. My headphones have been here this entire time, literally right in front of me.